Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today's video is going to be a pretty simple concept. I am going to be using this bad boy right here. This is the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I got this just about a year ago. I got it shortly after it first came out. I tried it a couple times, wasn't thrilled with the pigmentation of the shadows, so I didn't really use it very much after that. I think I maybe used it a couple of times as like a companion palette, maybe grabbed a shade or two from here, doing looks with other palettes, but I don't know. I've been wanting so bad to love this palette because I remember when it first came out, there were a lot of people that were like, oh, I don't know, people were kind of iffy about it, but they all seemed to try it some more and ended up loving it. So I don't know. I guess I just had too many other things that I was trying and I didn't give it enough of a chance at the time. So here we are, just about a year later. Springtime has officially sprung, and we're going to give this bad boy another chance because this is definitely a springtime palette. Let's just jump right into it. I want this to be kind of concise. I'll tell you at the end of the video about the products that I have on my face, but I mean, clearly I'm kind of going with like the pinky, kind of purpley sort of a thing. So I'm going to use... I don't know, I really want to use this Starlit. This shade is definitely one of my favorites. I think, though, I also want to use Bellini and Tulle. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tulle, this one. But I might even get into, like, Feather and maybe even Duet. That's another gorgeous one. We'll see. Let's just see how this goes. I'm going to start with, God, even Dainty is beautiful. That's the thing, these colors are also gorgeous, but then I go to use them. I'm going to start applying, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my original experience with this palette. I'm going to use Tulle, and I'm just going to take a fluffy blending brush. So I got this palette not too long after it first came out, and my original reaction when it came out was like, oh, I don't really need that, like whatever, it's kind of cute, but I don't really need it. I had just bought 3 Natasha Denona palettes, my first time trying the brand, and I didn't really feel like I needed this one. This one looked, it's super light, it's super like springtime. It wasn't really my vibe. But I don't know, a little bit of time went by, like I said, not a lot, and I kind of was just like, you know what, maybe I do want that palette. I remember I went to the mall. I was having kind of a gloomy day, and I went to the mall, and I was like, let me see if they have Zendo, and then maybe I'll get Zendo, and then I saw, yes, they did have Zendo, and they had this palette. Now, I had already swatched this one in store, and I was a little bit more impressed with the swatches than I thought I would be because I swatched like the kind of pinky red in the middle, Starlit, and then I swatched the duochrome Illusion. I can't remember what other ones I swatched, but I know I definitely swatched those, and I was like, oh wow, these are really nice shadows. Like, maybe I will get this palette, but I didn't get it that same day. It was just kind of like in the back of my mind. So I went to the mall on this one day, and I figured I would look and see if they had Zendo. Maybe I would get that one because I'd been thinking about that one. Like I said, they did, and they had this one. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make myself feel a little bit better by spending a little bit of money. Never a good idea, right? But that was kind of the thought process. So that's how I ended up getting the palette, and I don't know, I did a few looks with it early on, and I just wasn't living for it, you know what I mean? Like, I did a look where I tried to combine a bunch of the shades. I think I did like some of the blues and greens and stuff, and the blues and greens, especially in this palette, don't seem to do a lot for me. I did end up using, I don't remember which shades exactly, but I used some of them more. I think I used Bellini and maybe Limoncello. in that first look, and I kind of did a gradient of like the cooler tones into the slightly warmer tones. The whole palette is pretty cool toned, but you know, just more like the blue-green shadows into the more kind of pinky yellow orange shadows. And that was the first look that I did, and I don't know, it just, I remember I was like, it doesn't even look like anything is on my eyes. Like I can see a little bit of color, but it's just like barely even there. And I know that that's the point, right? Like it's pastels. This looks quite nice. I think because it's like a pinky purpley kind of a color, it looks nice on me, and it looks good with this blush because it's like a pinky purpley blush. But let's see if we can build a little bit more, do a little bit more with the look from here. You know what? I think I might actually go into Bellini, which is the orangey shade. I might do that on the outer corner. Is that weird? I don't know. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to take Bellini. I might end up putting it more like all over the lid, but we'll just see. But yeah, so that was my first impression of the palette, and I was just like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Like, I didn't want to just use it as a companion palette. A lot of people were kind of saying that when it first came out. They were like, oh, you could just use it as a companion palette. But I wasn't vibing with that idea. I bought this at full price. And at the time, they were $65. They've gone up since. But at the time that I bought it, these Natasha Denona palettes were $65. And I don't know, $65 for just like a palette to pull out every now and then for a random pastel when I want it. You know, I mean, the idea of having these softer shades that I can use to blend out a look is like kind of a cool concept, but then again, these shades don't necessarily go with everything. There's only specific things that you can kind of blend out with these shades. I ended up trying to use the white liquid shadow from About Face as a base for the second look that I tried with this palette, and weirdly enough, it looked worse actually. Like, I've always heard that if you want pastels to pop, right? This is actually very cute so far though. I don't know, I'm kind of vibing with this very subtle look. Where do I go from here though? Like, I don't really know. Yeah, like I was saying, the white shadow underneath, it made it actually look worse. Like the white liquid shadow as a base. I had always heard that using a really light base or like a white base of some kind would be, you know, better for making the pastels pop. But it didn't seem like that was the case. It actually made it look more drowned out. Like, it made the color look more drowned out and white. So I like this so far actually though, like, if I'm being honest. I really want to use this red shade, Starlit. It's like a red with like a kind of a gold reflect. I'm just going to take it without any spray or anything, and I'm just going to start applying it to the center of my eye. Well, it looks a lot more pink on the brush. Let's see. Okay, I really want to just keep it to the center. But yeah, after that experience, using the white shadow and having it look so pale and like kind of drowned out, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can make this work. And I just got uninspired, and I just kind of went back to using all my other palettes. How do we feel about that? But the more I heard other people saying things about like how they really grew to love the palette, how they thought that it was a great pastel palette, the more I was like, damn, why can't I make it work for me? Like, why don't I love it? And I was just like, maybe I just suck. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Or maybe I was just like looking for the wrong thing. This looks good. I'm not gonna lie, this looks good. As I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, what was I thinking? It's so lovely. But like, I don't know. I just wanted something else back then, I guess, right? I wanted it to give me what every other palette gave me, but that's not the point, right? This is so freaking nice. And also, I chose to go with a pretty bold lip because I knew that the eyeshadow was going to not be bold. So I thought that that would be a nice little, you know. I always do a super bold lip and a super bold eye, and I end up looking completely insane. I'm sure you've noticed if you've been watching. If you're new here, I don't know. I'm just a clown. I don't know. But I'm always like, oh, let me do something a little bit more neutral. Let me do like a soft pink. And then I put it on my lips and I'm like, that's not a soft pink. I always think I'm going in with like a softer shade than I'm actually using. What do I want to do next? I'm having an existential crisis. Gosh, I want to use Duet because look how beautiful that is. Like a pink purple. And then there's also Dainty, which is like a really cool pink to I mean, well, I guess they're both a cool pink, but it's like I'm doing quotation marks. Honestly, maybe Dainty is actually a slightly warmer pink. I'm trying to just see the pink without the reflect. Yeah, Dainty is a warmer pink, and then it reflects kind of silvery, I guess. Let me look at it in person instead of looking at it through the camera. Yeah, it kind of reflects silvery, whereas Duet, right? Yeah, Duet is more of a purpley pink to a actual purple or like a blue shift. Let me swatch them out. So Dainty is a little more like sparkly, whereas Duet is a smoother. Wow, they're both so nice, and I just don't know what would go best with what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna use Illusion, which is this one that I'm swatching now. Just really getting in there. So that's that one there, that one, and it's definitely an iridescent like pink. I think it has other shifts. I'm trying to see. I guess it's kind of like peachy to pink. Wow. Oh, these are so beautiful. See, that's the thing. Like, they really are beautiful. They're just so soft. Ooh, would it be insane to just do the iridescent one on the inner part of the... This is a rough decision to make. Okay, so I've had a completely insane thought. Let's see if this all works out, but I'm going to start by taking a little bit of Dainty just on the inner part of my lid here. I don't want to go too crazy, but okay, just like that. Wow, it's so sparkly. Okay, that works. It's going well so far. I also feel like this palette is great if you want to do like single shadow looks, or maybe even just like two shadow looks, like a matte and a shimmer. I feel like there's a lot of options for simplicity, which of course is definitely a good thing for most people. I gravitate towards more complicated looks, probably because I have so much shadow and I want to use it. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to just do like 2 shadows. I want to do like 40, which you may or may not see. Prime example of that coming right up. I'm going to add some of Starlit back to the center of this eye because I took Dainty just a little bit farther in than I wanted, or a little bit farther in than was warranted. I'm just going really softly though, because I don't want to completely, I don't want like a super firm edge between them. I want it to be nice and soft. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, that's... If I do say so myself, I think that's quite lovely. Now I'm gonna do... Do I want to do my inner corner first, or do I want to do the... Let me do a little bit on the inner corner just because I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to use the iridescent shade Illusion. I'm going to plop that on the inner corner. Do I want a big brush like this? I don't think I do. I'm going to take... This is such a tiny little brush. And I'm just going to take some of Illusion. Ooh, that's a lot. Even on that tiny brush, that was a lot. I kind of dug in. I'm going to put it here. Oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of fallout getting everywhere. Just very concentrated. Ooh, right on the very inner corner. What do we think? I love that wet tear duct look. I love a nice shimmer on the inner corner. I always end up, or at least in a lot of these videos, I end up doing a shimmer that it looks really sparkly, but then I put it on and it's just the base is too deep. It's happened several times on the channel. I always get overexcited. I'm like, no, it's fine. I can make this one work. It's so sparkly. And then I put it on and I'm like, no, the base is way too deep for my skin tone. It doesn't make for a good inner corner. Okay. This does, though, because this is an iridescent, so of course it's going to make a nice inner corner on me and all my paleness. Okay, so there's that. Next, we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing, you're not participating in this, you're just watching. I'm going to be doing this shade called Feather, which is, it's kind of like a lavender. Yeah, it's a lavender. I would call that a lavender. I always have to be so careful whenever I do my lower lash line, because the second it goes just a tiny bit too low, it ruins my life. Or if it gets, you know, like too dark, I'm always like, no, the whole look is ruined. But it's definitely not going to go too dark with this palette, so I don't have to worry about that. I always have to like get the brush under my lashes, or at least that's what I do. I like try to like scoop it under my lashes because they get in the way. They get in the way. Is that enough? It doesn't really matter that much, right? You see it, right? I don't want it to be like not even visible. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think you can see it just enough, you know? It doesn't have to be super visible. Nobody needs that. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with Duet. I'm not giving up on Duet. I think I'm gonna take the same brush actually. I'm just gonna take it. I hope this works. I really hope this works. Oh baby, baby. I'm gonna take it like here and just drag it across. Is that okay? Did I do a good job? I think this looks quite lovely as it is, but I'm tempted to just throw in one more shade. So you see this one, Bora? I think it's called Bora, the purple, the darker purple. I just wanna put some of that. Is that dumb? Am I gonna hate it? It's possible. I'm gonna just take a little. I think this is actually a cream to powder. Is this a cream to powder? I think it is. I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna run it just here. Just a little. Oh, maybe it's not a bad idea. Maybe that's nice. Is that nice? By the way, I have really big eyes. So like my whole life I've always felt like I look like I have bags under my eyes. Cause like look at that. Like especially in this lighting, that's what made me think of it. Like I have like that thing going on. It's not that I have bags under my eyes. I just have really big eyes. Like, that's just how they are, like, in the socket, you know? But I've always been self-conscious about that. What do we think of that? Okay, people, so I just lined the waterline with this cream gel liner from ColourPop. It is called Amethyst Hour. Pretty nice, right? It's just like a soft, kind of lavendery purple shade. I thought that went nicely with the shade that I put under my eyes. Let me just tell you what else I have on my face, and then I will give you my final thoughts on, you know, this sort of second chance that I've given the palette. Did it deserve it? Do I like it more now? Just wait and see. I'm wearing my Lancome foundation and concealer the way that I've been doing it pretty consistently recently. I did just order a new concealer though, from not Lancome, so you'll be seeing that in the future. I use this Fenty Beauty cream blush. It always looks grimy. It always gets like, I don't know, it just looks grimy, but it's in the shade Drama Class spelled with $2 instead of S's. I used Star Surfer for my highlighter. It's just like a rosy highlighter. Then on my lips, I lined my lips with the ColourPop lip liner in the shade Dial Up, which is like a kind of a slightly purpley pink. Definitely on the cool tone side. And then I used, what's the name of this one? I used Out of Sync as the lipstick, which is like a, well, you know. And then I just wanted to hydrate my lips a bit because they were kind of dehydrated. So I went over it with Cosmic Click, which is one of the Luxe lip oils from ColourPop. I love this. I really, really love this product. It's so nice. Okay, so final thoughts on the palette. Did it deserve a second chance? Do I love it more now? I have to say, I'm actually quite pleased with this look. I think it's really beautiful. I'm wishing that there was a little more shimmer, like sparkle on the center of the lid, like that shimmer shade Starlit that I used on the center of my lid. It's beautiful for sure, but it's really not giving me a ton of sparkle like this other one here, Dainty, that I used more in the, what is it called? Like the inner part of the eye. That one is a lot more sparkly and it's really, really beautiful and I love it. But I just wish that the other one, Starlit, had more sparkle. I'm wondering if maybe I should tap like limoncello on the center of my lid, which is the, would that be sick? Should I try that? Oh, I'm nervous. I don't want to do that. But I kind of do all at the same time. My mirror is over here. I'm just going to be very, very gentle and I'm just going to tap. What is that doing? Is that doing anything? Oh, I think it is. Did it kill Starlit? No, it didn't. Oh my god, it just made the center of my lid shinier. Oh my god. Achievement unlocked. Oh no. Success, I think. Oh! Oh! Okay, so that was a really good idea because now the center of my lid is shiny like I wanted it to be. Okay, that's awesome. So that fixed that problem. My final thoughts. I think that this definitely did deserve another look. I definitely think that this look is awesome. I think that, I don't know, I still don't know if it's the kind of thing that I would use all the time because I don't wear makeup when I go to work most of the time. Every now and then I will, but I don't generally do makeup when I go to work. This would, if I was doing that, be a great palette for just like an everyday colorful look, you know, like a going to the office colorful look. Like, look at that. It's beautiful. It's subtle, but it's gorgeous, you know? But I don't know, I don't really do a lot of that. I do a lot of more kind of intense clowny looks, as I'm sure you know. But I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to think about different things that I can do with this palette. I want to give the blues and the greens another try as well, because the blues in this palette I know are not my cup of tea. Blues are rough enough as it is, but first of all, there's two different shades here, Bubble and Airy, but once you get them on the lid, they look the same. Like, there's no difference. You would think that Bubble would be a little bit deeper, right? It's not. It's a cream to powder. So it looks one way in the pan, but then when you actually apply it, I'm just going to take swatches really quick of Bubble and Airy. Oh gosh, am I proving myself wrong as I do this? I don't know, just on the eye, I don't remember them looking very different. You can see a difference in the swatches though. It's not a huge difference though. I don't know. I have to give those shades another try. I have to play with the greens. But I definitely think that this is going to be a fun palette to use in the spring. I'm going to make sure that I use this spring, this year. And I'm just going to have to play with it some more. And it definitely deserves another look. So yeah, I think that this is gorgeous. I really enjoy this. I think I'm going to film another video now, so you'll probably see this look again. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that if you have this palette and you were maybe not vibing with it when it first came out, that you pulled it out again and gave it another try like I did today. Or, you know, that I inspire you to do that. Give it another try. But yeah, this is the look. And I will be seeing you guys again on Wednesday. I think I'm going to film my Wednesday video right now. I'm actually going to be talking about Fenty skin products. So if you're interested in that, check out my Wednesday video. If you're new here, by the way, I post every Sunday and every Wednesday. Check me out, subscribe. And I hope that you have a great week. I will be seeing you on Wednesday. Peace.